Jojo, sorry. We came from Hungary.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, how you doing?
This was your second season and you're preparing for the biggest game of your life.
Yeah.
How can you handle it?
I mean, it's a big game. My second season in NFL. It's a humbling experience, I can tell you that. But, I mean, it's one of those games where you just got to go out there and play hard out there and leave it all out on the field.
During the season, have you thought about it that maybe you can go to the Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, I mean that's always the goal. I feel like for every team, and I feel like us as a team, you know, our coaches, we all work for one goal, and I feel like the Super Bowl was that one goal at the end of the day, and it's just been a blessing, man. It's been a good ride.
I'm sure that this game can depend on the field position. Does it give you extra pressure?
I wouldn't say extra pressure, man. I mean, I've been doing it all season long. I mean, I know it's a big game and everything, but at the end of the day, you just got to go out there, have fun, man, and just play hard out.
How do you like this opening night?
I love it, man. It's my first year in the Super Bowl, and I like it a lot. I'm kind of can get used to it. To be real with you, I can get used to it.
And even, you know, a bigger media presence during this week.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of media out here. It's my first time being around all this media, but I mean, I'm just enjoying the process, man. I'm enjoying the moment, man. It's crazy, man. I would have never thought I'd be in the Super Bowl, man. I grew up watching the Super Bowl on TV. Never thought I'd be here playing in the Super Bowl, so it's a good experience.
Who did you root for?
I mean, honestly, I never really had a team growing up. I mean, I'm from Florida, so I always liked the Dolphins, but they weren't never making no noise.
Before your time, that was the Dolphins time.
Yeah, before my time, the 1972 season, yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much and have fun.
Thank you. How you doing?
Hey, Roger, how can you prepare for all the stunts that the New England Patriots used in the last two games?
Oh man, basically it just comes down to technique. You know, technique is going to help you win the game, and also communication. If you know who you're going to and you're making sure that your hands are on, you're not letting people get into your chest, you'll be able to stop a lot of those stunts. And then if you give Jared Goff just enough time, you know, having that one-on-one coverage in the back end is going to allow, you know, wide receivers to get open and make plays.
You mentioned a lot of time for Jared. How much does play action help with that?
Oh, play action is incredible. You know, the run game, you know, kind of controls everything. As long as you got a good running game, you'll be able to have great play action because you'll be able to suck up the linebackers. And then also in the pass game, you know, they might sit back a little bit, and, you know, that allows us to be very efficient play in and play out.
How much did it mean that overall the unit, the offensive line, was relatively healthy in the entire season?
I just think that that's a unified effort from our strength coach, from Coach Buday, from our training staff. You know, those guys really allowed us to be feeling good every Sunday. And it's really important because, as you can see, you know, the communication is there, the chemistry is there, and that's what allowed us to be successful.
Over the last couple games, the Patriots sometimes had only one down lineman or two down linemen. How difficult does that make the communication for you before the snap?
Oh, it definitely makes things difficult because then you have to figure out who you're going to go to instead. You know, they have a lot of guys that can play the D-line as well play linebacker, and they have heavier bodies at the linebacker, so being able to point out who we're all going to is a must.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Hi Rob, one of your biggest weapons is the play action pass. Why is this so special for you?
No, I think the biggest thing that we want to do is just be a balanced offense. You know, I don't think it's one thing that makes us a good offense. It's, you know, it's not one player. It's, you know, it's the collective unit. So, you know, but, you know, obviously, you know, Coach McVay's put in a really good scheme for us. So, you know, he calls the plays and we just try to, you know, we know they're going to work. We just screw them up when they don't.
At the AFC Championship game, you have played in one of the loudest arena of the NFL. How did it feel?
I mean, it was loud. You know, your ears are ringing after the game for quite a long time. You know, just half the time I was reading lips, you know, trying to guess what the hell he was saying, and you know, I got to grab my guard every now and again, and you know, scream in his ear, you know, what the heck did he say? And he'll tell me, and I'll tell the guy next to me, and you know, we went from there.
Did you change anything during the game in communication?
No, we just put a little more emphasis on it. You know, we knew it was going to be loud. We didn't realize it was going to be, you know, deafening to the point of I can't hear, you know, from me to you right now. So, you know, we just put an extra emphasis on it after the first couple drives.
Patriots put a great pressure on Philip Rivers and also Patrick Mahomes. What is their specialty? How do you see?
I mean, I think they're a good defense. You know, a lot of people, you know, don't give them the credit they deserve. You know, they got great players and a great scheme, and you know, guys play hard. You know, it shows up on film all over the place. So I think the guys who really know, and you know, they're a good defensive front.
Thank you very much. Okay. Hi, Michael. If a team plays the New England Patriots, everybody's talking about you have to put pressure on Tom Brady. That's your goal?
Oh yeah, and I think that's a goal for any team, you know, for playing anybody. It always starts with the quarterback. So if you get to the quarterback, you can ultimately mess up the offense. So the biggest thing about them, is to get to Tom Brady. If you can get to Tom Brady, hit him early, hit him often, I think you can come out and win this game.
How frustrating is this that he's getting rid of the ball in 2 seconds?
I mean, that's his game. You know, he understands that, you know, the game has changed. You have to get the ball out. The defensive players are faster, they're better, and getting the ball out on time and getting out faster makes them tired and stuff like that. So he does a great job at playing within his game for sure.
A lot of talking is going about Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh. Does it make your presence easier on the field?
Yeah, because I don't have as much pressure, man. I don't have to go out here and overly perform, man. I just go out and do my job and do it well. And as long as I do that and the team's happy, I'm happy.
We've talked about the quarterback, but their running game is especially good. How do you prepare for that?
Just going back to the fundamentals. I think that's the biggest thing. You know, a lot of teams were shocked when they came out and they took it to old school football, you know, with 21 personnel, eye back, running down your throat. But it goes back to fundamentals. Playing in the SEC, playing a little bit early, you know, in the league 2012, we had to play blocks like that. It's going to become a key. So definitely fundamentals are going to be important.
Thank you very much. Spent a week with the Chiefs, then a tryout with the Chiefs, spent a week with the Raiders. Have you thought at the beginning of December that you are preparing for the Super Bowl?
Nah, I said this last night and I'm going to say it again. It was 12 teams in the playoffs. And one thing that we know for sure is you got to continue to play games to put yourself in this position. I think the only people who knew they were going to be at Super Bowl 53 is all you guys was asking questions. It didn't matter if this was Dak Prescott or Amari Cooper or, you know, Patrick Mahomes. Y'all was gonna ask any of these questions to whoever was at the Super Bowl. We had to play the games to make it. So I don't think none of us knew that we'll be in this position until we started winning football games.
You have already played in the big game, and can you give an advice for the players who are playing for the first Super Bowl?
Just stay focused. It's a game once it kicked off. The ball's put down on the 35. If you kick it out of the back of the end zone, it starts 25. Defense got to defend 75 yards. Offense got to drive 75 yards, get a touchdown.
So you don't feel any difference between the other games?
Last time I checked, the field is 100 yards, 53 and a half wide. I don't think it changed. It's in Atlanta. That's the difference.
Thanks.
Okay, you guys go ahead. Hey Jim, Coach, good morning to you. Feels like at home, man. You got the first question. I love it.
Don't sweat it. If things kind of slowed down just a little bit after all we went through last night, you can kind of get right on into the flow of things in the game just a few days away.
Looking around, not a chance. No, it really has. I think last night was great. You know, you can kind of really appreciate the magnitude of this game. But getting up this morning, really kind of we're trying to put the final touches on our game plan, and you know, the players will really have the day off, with the exception of the guys that you're getting ready to talk to here in a little bit. And then we'll really get into our normal rhythm on a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday week of preparation. So feeling good where we're at. Very appreciative to be here, and we know we got a couple more days to get ourselves ready to peak at the right time.
Hey Sean, like Todd Gurley's own admission, he was not himself in the NFC Championship game. What, if anything, are you doing through the course this week to keep tabs?
Respect, you know, being Pro Bowlers and what we've done in this league. I think that's what we have.
Does it help to have different skill sets or a little varied skill sets rather than sort of being close?
I think so. You know, the explosiveness, the speed, the quickness, what he does with the football is super duper special. You can try to keep the defense off balance because when I come in the game, it's more smack you in the mouth
roll downhill, get my pass down, get on edge of the defender, and try to find a way to pick up yards as much as we can.
What does that mean? What difficult part to adjust to the Rams offense?
Nothing. Nothing.
All the debate in the NFL whether or not you should use a high draft pick on a running back. Are you guys proof that you should or that you shouldn't?
I will let y'all decide that. I mean, at the end of the day, running backs need only.
The NFC Championship game against the Saints, and now you are playing against the Patriots. Does it help you on the field that you have practiced against those guys?
No, it don't help me at all.
Why? How is it possible?
No, just because they do so many different things, so it doesn't help me.
And does it help you that you have played a Super Bowl before?
No. No, I don't think so.
What helps you then?
I didn't finish the game, so
I know.
yeah.
Do you think this game would have been different if you had?
Hi Corey, you've been selected for your first Pro Bowl, but I guess you're not disappointed that you couldn't play that game.
Yeah, I'm not disappointed at all.
So you would change for the Super Bowl all the time, right?
Guaranteed. It's a team goal. It's better than, the personal accolades or whatever. I'm honored for that or whatever, but being a world champion, it's something special.
But it means that you had a great season, 4 sacks, 3 interceptions, blocked punts. Which one was your greatest play? What do you think?
Greatest play, I don't know. Whatever play in the game impacts the game in our favor for us to get a win, that's always the best.
How important is it for a player to play as a defensive player and also a special team player?
Whenever you have a role or whatever, you just do everything to the best of your ability. Special teams is where I started, so that's always going to be something I hold near and dear to my heart. But right now, defense is most important too.
What is the secret of a blocked punt? Because you have to have a good rhythm, so you must be a good dancer.
I wouldn't say all that, but hey, as long as you believe you're going to block it and you actually get the chance to, then you're going to do it.
Where would you put the Patriots offense between the opponents this season?
One of the top offenses in the league. This offense got them to the Super Bowl, and offense we got to stop.
You have to be busy because of the running game. How would you prepare for that?
No different than any other week. Make sure we stick to our game plan. Everybody stays within the frame of that, and we should be all right.
Thank you very much. And I'm a Chiefs fan, so I have to admit that I didn't like your play against the Chiefs because you played fantastic.
I apologize for that. I don't know what you want me to do, man. It just kind of went that way for me. I can't say nothing else.
That was the greatest game of your life so far?
So far, yes, for sure, for sure.
You were born in Nigeria. How did you get involved with American football?
Well, I was playing soccer a lot, and I ended up getting too big, so I ended up getting like a lot of yellow cards, a lot of red cards. So I was just like, okay, let me just try out football, and the rest is history.
Who was your favorite player in Nigeria? I loved J.J. Okocha.
Okocha, yep, that's my dude right there.
Really? Why?
Why? Because I just like the style of play. Kind of like how Ronaldinho kind of like plays just for fun. He's playing for fun, not the money.
Can we say that he's like Tom Brady?
Okocha? I don't know if I could say Tom Brady because he didn't play as long. If you want to like go like that, I would have to say like Messi or Ronaldo, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but in 1996, I was commentating the Olympic final between Nigeria and Argentina. And that was the...
Man, I can't believe that game, man. I was hot. But it's okay though, it's okay.
You remember that game, 3-2?
Yeah, a little bit. I was like, oh my God. It was a fun game, though. It was a fun game.
So get back to American football. What do you like in this game, comparing to soccer?
The physicality. I'm able to cut loose and be like just myself on the field. And just like soccer, I can't play really aggressive in soccer because I'll end up getting fouls. But over here, I can play as aggressive as I want.
Why do you think the Patriots running game has established so good?
They play dirty up front. They play dirty up front. They know how to move people off the ball, and we just gotta play dirty back. But in the state of the rules. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to do any cheap shots or nothing like that, but we're just going to play hard and get after that running back.
Patriots had monster first drives, both against the Chargers and against the Chiefs. How do you try to be prepared for that?
Be prepared for it. Basically, you got to limit the explosive runs, make sure that they don't get manageable first runs, just so that they can get a shorter second down. And that's really all it is. It's first and second down. We have to limit the amount of yards that they get on first and second down.
Thank you, and say hi to JJ if you meet him.
I will.
Thank you.
He's too big, man.
Thank you very much. Samson Ebukam.
There's reaction when you saw that. I was hoping that exactly what was going to happen would happen. I mean, look, we wanted to come down to Mexico City, play at Estadio Azteca, absolutely, but at the same time, you can't provide a safe playing service. I don't care if it's in LA, if it's in Mexico City, if it's anywhere overseas, the logistics that go into planning that trip. You know, we're a union, a labor union, they collectively bargain for us, and they were not, you know, it's their job to have us in our way. If you can't provide a safe playing surface, we're not going to play on it.
That's good. Thanks very much, and good luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
Hey John, we are from the Hungarian Sport TV. So you will have a key role in identifying the New England fronts and their twists and stunts. How can you prepare for the challenge, and what do you think is the biggest challenge in that area?
Well, I mean, the big challenge is they provide a ton of different looks, mix different personnel groupings, front structures. You know, they change up. They'll show one thing, then do another. So they really, you know, keep you on your toes a little bit. But we just have to watch tape, prepare, see if we can notice any keys, and just be ready to play hard and fast and execute at a high level.
And even though it's Jared's only third season, what have you seen from him in terms of development in identifying these fronts and blitzes? So what have you seen from him so far?
Well, he just gets better each and every week. I mean, obviously, as you gain experience, you gain looks that you've seen, different tricks that people use, and you're able to just develop a more natural feel for what's coming based on what you're seeing in front of you. And he just continues to get better and better over time.
You're running a lot of screen passes. What does it mean that the whole unit was relatively healthy for the entire season in terms of being on the same page on screen passes and getting the timing right?
Well, not just for screens. I mean, really, it's for everything. Continuity is huge, right? I mean, when you pull guys out and have to put other guys in due to injury, which happens to every team in the NFL, it's an unfortunate but a necessary part of the game, but it can slow you down just in terms of communication, in terms of how you react, knowing what the guy next to you is going to do, developing a natural feel for the players that you play with. So being able to start all 16 games with the same 5 guys in the offensive line and then the 2 playoff games is huge. It's been a reason that we've had success.
Following up on that, this is also true for the running game, that you need to be on the same page with the running back, especially with the amount of zone runs that you run. What have you seen from CJ that he was able to get so much playing time so early, and he's on the same page with the offensive line, it seems?
Well, he's one of the smartest players I've ever played with. I mean, whether it's you know, taking handoffs and running the ball in zone schemes like you said, or it's, you know, blitz pickup and protections, he's just all over it. And really, he's one of those guys that CJ, when CJ sees something and plays, he retains that information. So, you know, even though you've played in different offenses, I mean, all these schemes ultimately are basically the same. It's just how you execute them, communication within the scheme, that, you know, within the system. So CJ just came in and you know, immediately was an amazing fit. Incredibly coachable. He communicates really well, so we're able to talk things through. And maybe if, you know, one play doesn't fit right, we just work it out, and then we roll on the next one. So he's been a huge addition and a huge reason that we are where we are.
One final question. Could you reflect on the fact that you didn't really get the playing time that you probably hoped for in 2016 in Washington, and what's it like to come back from that stage to the Super Bowl as a starting center in just 2 years?
Yeah, you know, look, I understood my role in Washington. They were honest with me before they signed me. They wanted me to come in and fill a position for depth, and for me it was great because I needed to get back in the league. I had spent a month out, and really I needed to keep playing to get back into shape and figure out if I could still do this. So when I got the opportunity in 2017, I figured, you know, we'd find out pretty quick if I could still play at a starting level, and fortunately I was able to, and then I signed here earlier in 2018, and you know, the rest is history. We find ourselves here, so it's very rewarding.
Thanks, appreciate it. Good luck.
Thank you.
John Sullivan. Andrew, what was this week like? Obviously you tried to prepare for it, but were there any surprises? And also, how do you find the balance between knowing that there's a game on Sunday but still soak it in?
Yeah, I mean, I think, no real surprises at this point. I think that you think of this game as being big and huge on the stage it is, and I don't think it's disappointed. I mean, you can tell with the energy buzzing around it and everything else that this is why it's called the Super Bowl. So I think that that's been expected, but yeah, and then also taking it in. I think that there's, obviously you're really busy. There's a lot going on with different obligations you have, but in some of those quiet moments, you get a chance to just take in how big this game is and appreciate the opportunity to be here.
You talked about Buday Zoltán. What has he done to motivate you guys from thinking?
Well, I think the greatest thing about him and really that is the same thing I believe in leadership is when people ask, hey, what have you told guys for this week or what have you said? I just don't believe that happens in one moment. I believe that the true guys that are real and that it's genuine and it's leadership, it's a process over 2 years. So what I would say is what Sean McVay's done to prepare us for this game is be who he is and do things the way he's done them for 2 years and continue to press on us to find a better way to be who we are and to bring out the best in ourselves every opportunity we have. We used to always say be 1% better every single day in whatever it is you do. Just finding a way to challenge yourself personally, physically, as a football player. Hey, how can I find a way to improve who I am and be humble enough to realize that I'm not the best I am every single day. There's always something better I can be better at, and I think that that's what Sean's done is create an atmosphere where guys feel challenged that way, and every single day they're trying to find the next version of themselves.
How different is it to prepare for a team whose edge defenders switch sides during the game compared to a team who keep their edge defenders on the same side for the whole game?
It's not really difficult. It's just you have to kind of know each guy. So it's really instead of just knowing one guy, you kind of know what each guy rushes like and their style, and So I mean, it would more come in to a factor if everybody was really different from each other, which these guys are all pretty similar.
Hey, Andrew, from a player standpoint, a lot of people are looking at the play callers, Sean against Belichick, young, old, and Josh Daniels versus Wade, young, old, that way. Players, what's your sense of that as far as
I think that's just really not something we think about that much. I think we think about executing, and so really it comes down to Sean and Josh can both call the best plays ever against Wade and Bill, and it doesn't matter if nobody executes it. So it's really about knowing that you have really good football coaches all over the field for both teams, and whatever team's able to go out and execute the plays is really going to make the difference. So it's really going to come down to us executing and playing confident.
Andrew, do you feel like you see this maybe a little bit differently than some of the younger players on this team? Like, are you trying to take snapshots in your head because you know how hard it is to get to this seat right where you're sitting?
Yeah, we joked earlier this week, me and some of the veteran guys, just this almost ruins rookies because it's like you just don't realize how hard it is to get to this moment and how much has to go your way, honestly. And so, you just kind of remind them that this is not something that happens every day, and they need to put in the work and the effort every single year to have this opportunity and realize that things are going to have to go their way as well. And so, it's just an opportunity to kind of take this moment in and realize how special it is, but keep remembering that on Sunday, going and playing your best is the only thing that matters.
This is going back to what Rose did. Surprised with some of the social media reaction from back home after the Saints game. I saw some stuff that you and your wife even put back on. Like, you seem like you got genuinely aggravated by it, or am I reading that wrong? By some of the social media reaction?
No, I just, the one article that's written, I didn't like the way it was worded to try and catch bait people into, almost like I needed to be quiet to keep my favor in Louisiana or something. It just kind of was more of like, hey, I've done plenty of stuff and continue to do plenty of stuff for that community. But no, I don't think I was surprised. I think, I see things differently sometimes than people do. I see it as people that get to play this game, coach this game, be a part of it. You know what? Like, bad things happen in the game. Stuff doesn't always go your way. But you're in control of really, honestly, the attitude and the nature of fans and people who emotionally can't handle it. So when you make excuses and when you create a drama line that really creates anger, I'm getting social media threats on my kids, I'm getting social media threats on my wife, I'm getting social media stuff about the refs. Like, I just think that sometimes you need to realize, like, what, the emotions of this game, we all know what they really are, and you have a little bit of a responsibility in how you control that narrative and make sure you don't make it about things that it's just not. Like in reality, if you are mad about the call, then it's about the call. It doesn't have anything to do with the Los Angeles Rams or any of our players or any of our people. We don't have anything to do with that. So just making sure that you make actually what you're mad about and all those things clear. I mean, I just think that was one of those things that, to me, there's a responsibility there as players.
What have you heard from Lundgren in the last week?
Nothing. I've heard nothing but great things. I've heard nothing but support, and you know, I think that some of that social media stuff can be blown up, you know, more than it is. My only issue is just with the one article and how it was worded. And outside of that, no, I've heard nothing but support and love from back home, and have always appreciated my home state, and that's why I continue to give to it through my foundation.
Andrew, so many of your teammates really looked at you as a leader and look at you as a leader. Can you speak when you were growing up in this sport? Is that something your parents instilled in you? What in your heart of hearts, in your soul, what makes a good leader? What's important to you?
Well, I think, you know, just continuing to one, be yourself and be real and authentic and actually have a genuine care for people. As Sean would probably say, I mean, a little bit more of my leadership style is to create an actual authentic relationship one-on-one with all my teammates and spending time with them, getting to know them, getting to know things that are important to them and what they want to do with themselves. And, I just think that that's the realest way to you know, make guys feel like you care about them and realize that it's genuine. And then also just create an atmosphere where they realize, hey, this is the kind of guy who's going to do things how I want to do them. I mean, this is the guy I want to walk in a room with. This is the guy I want to take those challenges with and walk beside, not because he's going to tell me what to do, but because he's going to inspire me to be the best version of myself. And I want to be better because I'm around him. I feel like that's the people in my life that look at leadership. That's how they're wired. And that's how I see leadership. And so I think that that's just something that, for me, as a kid, I mean, I honestly always wanted that, didn't know how to get it. But I'll never forget my grandmother shared with me when I was a young kid that ever since I was like 6, 7 years old, I always asked her, like I'd go to the grocery store and I thought people like bagging groceries. I thought that was like such a nice thing that people did that. And she would drop me off and let me go just bag groceries for people at this local supermarket because I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. And just to do that for people. And so, you know what, that's kind of one of those things. It's like I didn't know what I was doing, but genuinely that's just how I felt. I wanted to go do something.
And young quarterbacks can struggle with keeping, staying calm in the pocket and taking 2 deep drop backs. What have you seen from Jared in this area over the last 2 years?
I think he's just continued to improve. You know, I think that that's definitely something young quarterbacks struggle with, and it's just realizing that their safe place is actually up in the pocket. You watch the veteran quarterbacks that are successful, and Tom and Peyton over the years, and Drew, I mean, and Phillip, and all those guys. Aaron does the same thing. I mean, the ability to climb that pocket and get in there and stay in that safe place actually buys them more time, even though they feel like escaping it is really what buys them time, but it just doesn't. Now you give people opportunity to chase you down. So, yeah, just believing and having faith that he can stay in there, but that goes into the O-line and us making sure that we provide a safe pocket for him.
In the last 72 hours,
ezt tudni fogja a Golos.
Very far. How do you see the chances against the Patriots? Right in the middle.
The only thing we can do is prepare and give them our best fight. And I'm pretty sure they're doing the same thing, but I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not going to try to predict the game.
What would you say? Who is their #1 wide receiver? Because we were wondering who is their #1.
I honestly believe it's their running back, James White, number 28. I was fortunate enough to play high school with him, follow him in college, and he does a great job running and catching the ball.
But isn't it strange that you are naming a running back?
I wouldn't say it's strange because the NFL, if you look at the Saints and how they use Alvin Kamara, how we use Todd Gurley, the NFL is evolving and running backs are becoming more receivers than actually running the ball. So,
how do you see the play of Edelman, Dorsett, Hogan? They are always picking up the best guy at the moment.
Oh man, Coach Belichick made a history off that, you know. He's like asylum to guys, you know. It's like a safe place when guys are out there on the market or, you know, talented guys don't get to show their talent in other places. So Coach Belichick made a history with doing things like that.
We have seen against the Chiefs that 3 3rd and 10 went into successful play. How did you see that? If you watched the game, what did you think?
Man, the game is never over for Tom Brady unless the opposite team are in victory formation. Like Tom Brady is just, that's why he's great. You can just never count him out. It can be 40-20 with a minute left in the game. I still never doubt Tom Brady. That's just what he has proven. So I wasn't surprised.
And how can you prepare for those situations exactly? For example, third downs.
We just have to go with the game plan. We just have to trust what Coach Wade is calling and go execute. You know, no one can try to be a superhero. That's what loses you games.
Okay. One more question from him, okay?
So, how important is it to disguise coverages against the quarterback as experienced as Brady?
Can you repeat the question?
How important it is to disguise coverages before the snap against the quarterback to not know the coverage?
Well, I was asked that earlier this week, and it's kind of like a trick question because with Tom Brady, he does so many different things with motion, with shifts, you know, with dummy cadence. So it's almost like at some point in the game, you're gonna have to line up and just say, okay, Tom Brady, you're gonna have to win, because he does a really great job with being efficient with the play clock and, like I said, getting you out of that shell. So it's gonna be difficult.
Thanks, appreciate it. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
LaMarcus Joyner.
I've heard Budapest is incredible.
Have you heard about it?
I have. I would actually like to go to Budapest someday.
When are you planning? Because we would like to show our studio then.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure when. Someday though, Hungary, I'm coming for you.
Great. Chris Long told us the same last year.
There's some good answers.
How did you learn about Budapest?
So I watch a lot of Food Network and like Travel Network. So you know, seeing people, you know, I've watched, you know, No Reservations on when Anthony Bourdain went out there. And
what kind of food would you choose?
I'm not certain. I don't know. I mean,
some spicy. You like spicy?
I like spicy. I love spicy. I think I'm adventurous too. I would love to try some of everything. I'm not a guy to shy away from any kind of food, and especially cultural cuisines. I would enjoy.
So we are waiting for you then. But after the Super Bowl, right?
Yes, absolutely. We got some business to take care of.
I've been to 12 Super Bowls, and I don't remember that analysts were talking about special teams so much. Thanks to you guys.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's fun to earn that respect and earn that attention, because it's a great atmosphere to be a part of. And I think, you know, Greg's one of the best kickers in the NFL, and you know, we have a special teams unit that's attacking, and we have the best special teams coach in the NFL, I believe. And we just have a ton of fun. And during the week, I don't think there's a group that pays more attention to detail or has more fun in special teams meetings or even on the field practicing special teams than we do. So it definitely shows in the game.
You had 43 punts in the regular season, and 21 of them went inside the 20-yard line. That's amazing. How can you be so accurate?
You know, I owe a lot of that to my teammates as well. You know, I'm not just punting the ball and letting it just die there or forcing fair catches, but you know, a fair catch doesn't happen if a gunner's not in his face or a ball's not down inside the 10, 15-yard line if someone's not there to down it for you. So guys blocking and helping me feel comfortable definitely attributes a ton to that rate. But you know, like I said, the snap has to be on the money for me to have a good operation and put it where I want it. And Jake does a great job of giving me that ball right in the wheelhouse and just letting me work with it. So I owe a lot of pretty much all my stats to my teammates, because it's not a one-man game. There's 10 other guys out there that are working their butts off for me.
But we can never be sure that it's going to be a punt. I know you can't go into specifics, but how many plays do you have in store?
We have a few. You know, we have a stable of plays that we practice every week, you know, regardless of who we're playing, just so, you know, depending on what the looks they give us during that game, we can say, okay, hey, this is what we know. We've run this before, or, you know, Coach Foster can even draw stuff up on the sideline. He has a chalkboard, and, you know, we have confidence that, you know, if there's something that we need to do or make an adjustment to a play, that we can do it. But, you know, just the fluidity is something that's important to our special teams unit, and always stay ready for any opportunity that comes your way.
I've read that you played quarterback in high school. How did you become a punter then?
So I punted and kicked as well in high school. You know, was much less known for my punting and kicking during high school, but it was a deal where I walked on at Oregon State, and they had I think 6 or 7 quarterbacks and 0 punters. You know, they had a scholarship for a punter, and I knew that, so it was a deal where I was going to come in and compete for that job as a punter, and you know, never looked back and was able to do some good things there.
Yeah. But we can see on your movement that you play the position. You still have throwing practices?
I throw during special teams periods, and sometimes I'll throw to the DBs, but you know, I'm not doing quarterback drills or anything crazy like that. No 7-on-7. It's just a deal where you just keep my arm loose, have fun. Greg can throw the ball pretty well too, so we just throw the ball around during practice and stay loose and have fun with it.
Okay, thank you very much, and come to Budapest one time.
You got it. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.